Greetings and various assorted salutations. Welcome to the new unit tour for Improving Industry and Rights. This is the third unit for U.S. History 2, and this is the Fall 2020 briefing. So first off, the first thing you should probably check is the unit checklist. Let's go ahead and crack that open. So right off the bat, we've got our first activity, and all of our activities are listed here. It's a fairly short unit. Unfortunately, that's the way a lot of U.S. history units go about things, is they move very quickly and they're very short. But that's because we're a survey class, and our goal is to cover a lot of ground and at the very least introduce you to a lot of different things. Now jumping back to the main module, the first thing that you have, the first assignment, is the Haymarket Square Riot primary source. This is the first assignment for this activity, and essentially what it has you doing is you're going to read a document called a revenge circular, which was designed to inspire people to come out and protest the treatment of workers involved in an incident with the McCormick Harvester Company. There's a short video that kind of gives you a briefing on it, and then this is the primary source document information, and then this is an actual document, a pamphlet that was distributed to people. And then what you'll do is, when you're ready to answer the questions, you'll click Submit Assignment, which will appear up here, and you'll answer the 5 questions that have you breaking down the source into specific details. And then you'll hit Submit. That's how you complete the first activity. It's a fairly straightforward one, giving you an idea of the labor issues that are being addressed in this time period. The virtual student notebook is probably something you'll download a copy of right off the bat. Let's pull it up. What you'll do is you'll download a copy from here. Do note that you should only see this Google Docs page once. You should only download one copy of the virtual student notebook. And then to access your copy of the virtual student notebook as you're progressing throughout the unit, what you'll want to do is open up a new tab. This is assuming you're in Google Chrome. And you'll click on the 9 dots here, and you'll go to your drive to access this document. So you should only have to make one copy, and then you can access it from your Google Drive by clicking here from the google.com page. The virtual student notebook goes through a variety of different activities, and I'll show you where those resources are. Now, there are only really 2 lectures per se in this unit, which is a bit of a drop from previous units. There's one on corruption plaguing the nation and there's another one on political reform. And so these are 2 of the lectures you'll be using, and you'll be filling out some information using this virtual student notebook. The next major assignment, this is due on the 28th, but you can start it at any time. If you open it up in a new tab, what you're doing is you will be answering some questions. You can get your student copy here. And once again, you should only see this screen once because it'll be saved in the Google Drive. And basically, you're going to watch some short videos from our online textbook. The instructions are detailed on the page. And then you'll be answering some questions with each of those. And these flipped videos, you can access them for all units in this class, but we have some specific ones that we want you to look at, particularly 9.2, 9.3, and 11.1, which cover how businesses work, how labor unions and working conditions were, and then 11.1 is going into political reforms of the time period we're studying, which is often called the Progressive Era. The next section that you go into is worker and labor issues / rights, and there's a few assignments in here. There's the jungle, which is where you are reading a primary source on meatpacking plants and their working conditions. There's a short video as well, and then there's a student copy of a thing you'll fill out and you'll turn in as the instructions down here detail. Do make sure your file permissions are correct with all assignments you turn in. Also make sure you're turning in the correct assignment. Often when you turn in an assignment, you will be able to view your submission over here. So I would recommend always double checking stuff to make sure it worked correctly. There's another activity, it's called the Working Conditions Short Essay. What this is you're taking some different sources, primary sources and some secondary sources, and you're building an understanding of what are the working conditions during the Industrial Revolution. And then you have a 2-paragraph prompt that tells you what to do. Additionally, there is a rubric that you will be using. Think of the rubric and the writing prompt as checklists of what you need to have to get a good grade on it. And then, as always, the standard turn-in protocol applies. If you need a template blank piece of paper, I do have a template right here that you can use. However, you may use a Word document or some other document. Do make sure your share permissions are correct when you are uploading the document. Then there's a few pages that I want you to look at. One is on the 1902 coal mine strike. There's just a short little video that explains the importance of this event. There's no particular assignment tied to this event, but it is something that you will be tested over. Likewise, there's a couple of reading documents on the creation of Labor Day and the Pullman strike. There's no particular assignment, once again, associated with these, but they are things that you need to be aware of for the test, and they are mentioned in the study guide found in the Virtual Student Notebook. Progressive Era Law Chart. This is a very convenient document. I'd recommend looking at it after the flipped video 11.1. But the nice thing about this one is it breaks down all the major progressive era reforms into a nice little chart, and it's very convenient for your use in that regard. African Americans in the Pursuit of Equality is an activity that is tied with the Virtual Student Notebook. Muckrakers and Famous Examples goes into more detail, so you learned about the jungle and Upton Sinclair and the activity above, and this will go into more detail there. We also have an activity on women's suffrage. And then we have a reading on pursuing equality. Now, there's no assignment tied to this, but if you notice in the unit checklist, it is an activity that you need to do. I recommend you need to have it done by November 5th. And basically what you're doing here is you will be watching a short video on Plessy versus Ferguson from the Georgia Supreme Court, or the Bar Association, I believe. And then you have a short little article excerpt on the NAACP and their foundation. This group will become really important, not just in this unit, but they will come up again in the civil rights movement when you study in US History 3. So it's laying groundwork for that as well. After that, that pretty much covers the unit. There are a few things, because labor concerns, workers' rights are still a concern to this day, and some of the business concerns are there as well. And I've included some optional things of interest, like there's still some modern day company towns. And there's some stuff on cartels. A tuna canning cartel was broken up within the past 10 years, where tuna canning companies were fixing the price of canned tuna. Kind of an interesting topic. But just to make sure things are covered, you'll want to look at the unit checklist for this activity. It'll help you frame what you need to get done and when you need to get it done in class. Do remember that the way this class is configured, it doesn't matter if we are at level 1, level 2, or level 3 of COVID safety protocol. Essentially, this course is designed to run at all levels in the most stable fashion possible. And as long as you're getting things in and you're advancing the course agenda, you should be doing okay in this class. As always, do check your assignment feedback, as it may give details on how you can improve your score. I guess that about covers this little introduction to the new unit. And well, I guess can carry on. As the world spins, we carry on. Until later.